Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Joshua here with us. He is actually a very interesting businessman and a consultant, and he's involved in the solar industry and has an interesting story with ups and downs. So, Joshua, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me on, Tony. Excited to be here. I've been very successful in business. I sold companies to EDF, NG to global Fortune 500 companies. Went consulted for one, went and was an executive at the other. But I fell into alcoholism and addiction, and my life. Burned to the ground, and now I'm rebuilding my life sober. That's it in a nutshell.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So, fantastic in terms of like what are you doing now and how
Yeah.
you're actually rebuilding everything and how you managed to get out of what was, sort of stopping you and slowing you down before. So, yeah, let's sort of look a little bit into this story and tell us a little bit. Obviously, you're involved in this, all these sort of big deals and corporations and selling them and stuff like that. So, what's one of the major things that you learned there?
Well, I mean, been an entrepreneur, pretty much my whole life. When I was a kid, I started a window washing business, so I've always wanted to, build and create. And after I left Bank of America Merrill Lynch, I started developing solar projects and raising capital for that. And I would put projects in places that other people weren't yet looking, like in states that weren't, solar, red states, near coal plants that were going to retire to repurpose and reuse the existing transmission once they go offline. So I learned to think outside of the box and not listen to the people that said, "Oh, this isn't going to work," because eventually it, it did work. I mean, solar's everywhere, right?
Mhm.
Now, but when I started doing this back in 2012, solar was like in the southern states, in the desert, not in Nebraska, Utah, North Dakota, stuff like that. So
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, where the sun is shining all the time, and
yeah,
then you have these states where it's not so much. Like I lived in London for about
yeah.
20 years, and over there it's either cloudy or dark or rainy.
Right, but back then, I guess, a lot of, people are risk adverse, and solar was newer, and uh there was a rush to put the solar in like the most ideal places, so it all makes sense. Me being a little guy, with only so much capital to start with, I started thinking like, well, get land in these other places, and eventually the industry will catch up. So,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, and that's pretty much what happened. So,
mhm.
so in general, like obviously you learn about not believing those people that were telling you, oh, it's not going to work and stuff. Like, what was the drive for you? Because obviously you were in banking and then you moved into solar, and somehow you're involved all the time in all these sort of like big projects where there was a lot of money involved, either
Yeah.
your own or so, like company's money, but what was your drive at that time? Was it more to do with money or projects, or you wanted to build your name? What was happening?
Well, yeah, I wanted to be successful. I mean, this may sound silly, but I wanted to be more successful than my father. I always had an issue with him, so that was always a motivation. I mean, not maybe not the right motivation or a healthy motivation. I wanted to like prove people wrong, and I obviously wanted to be successful. I wanted to make a lot of money. I did learn and find out that money doesn't make you happy. I mean, it's nice, but it certainly is not the golden ticket to like, oh, happiness. So
Yeah, yeah,
like the
yeah.
more money I got, like, I mean, you can the trajectory of like how worse my life got in other ways. You can see you can see a correlation, I think. So
Absolutely. But so would you say that how your life got bad was really due to money, or it was more about like this having to prove yourself and having to be better than your father, and then that lead to burnout, or just having money was the issue?
No, 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 no. I mean, money was like probably a small part of it. I mean, until actually 2024 when I went to rehab in the summer of 2024 and I dealt with my mental health and past traumas. Uh, I was sexually abused by a male babysitter when I was 10 or 11 years old. That haunted me my whole life. Like I would drink to not think about that. I never told anybody except for like my ex-wife. Uh, for I mean count 30 30 years almost. Yeah, 38 years. Uh, so I dealt with that, and I dealt my issues with my father. I started dealing with through therapy. So I'm a big mental health advocate. That's what got me sober. There was the burnout component. I mean, I was a functioning alcoholic, so my world revolved around when I could drink, how much I could drink, you know, but also performing at a high level, which is very, very stressful. Looking back on it, uh, it was a combination of all of those things that led me to resigning, and then the rails really came off because I had nothing around me to oh I've got to be sober enough for this meeting. I've got this, I got to travel, I got that. I just had nothing to do, and it was like I called it the summer of Josh, and it really went downhill fast. Watching baseball and drinking all day long, and that's when I ended up in rehab for the first time, fall of 2023, and that really started the path to me being sober.
Absolutely. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about this, please. So when it comes to really like how everything went down the hill, you were like really well off financially. You were like your position was really great in the company. You were doing all these deals and everything, and then obviously you had enough, or what happened at that point?
Yeah, so in March of 2022, Photosol US got acquired by NG.
Hmm.
Um, and then I became an executive there. I was there for 18 months. And my kids grew up, my wife left me. Uh, I felt like, why am I doing this? I have plenty of money. I don't need to work anymore, or at least for some time. Um, and I just actually I got very selfish, right? I'm like, I want to have the summer of Josh. I want to do what I want, all the things I wanted to do that I've never been able to, never could do. Now that I'm in the situation I have found myself, and it turned into a dumpster fire pretty quickly.
Wow.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny how I thought that. It, yeah. Anyways,
Okay, and so you ended up in rehab, and then you went through that, and then you came out on the other side. Was that enough, or you had to go to rehab again, or what happened?
yeah. So I went to rehab for a month. Then I got out, and then I relapsed about 3 weeks later. I was actually in Paris. I was gonna had a 3 week trip planned in Europe with a friend. Ended up flying home like in 4 or 5 days, and I went back to rehab. Went to rehab for three weeks. Uh, Relapsed again after getting out. Spent that Thanksgiving in a basement detox when I was supposed to take my kids to New York for Thanksgiving. And then I was sober on and off for about 9 months, and then I ended up in rehab, and that's why I'm in Texas. I went to rehab here, outside of Austin, but this time I went for 90 days, and I dealt with the reasons I wanted to drink. I dealt
Hmm.
with the reasons I wanted to escape and self-medicate, and until I dealt with those, I never thought I'd be sober. The other times I went to rehab, I learned things, but I didn't learn it was this last time I went in the summer of 2024 where I dealt with the reasons I was drinking. You
And
know,
you're talking
I
about
learned
like,
why I was drinking before that, and then I dealt with it.
so, and the last time you went into rehab, it was for 90 days. And how long were, you mentioned there was some like couple of weeks and stuff. So you never went like for 90 days before, no?
No, it was 30, 21, and then 90. And then after I got out, the reason I moved to Austin was I had an aftercare plan, and that involved outpatient. So,
Mhm.
4 nights a week, or was it 5 nights a week for 2 hours, classes, right? So I never stuck to that. The other two times I got out, I started and stopped going. I followed through on my aftercare plan, and then I still have a therapist, which was part of it. So I've stuck two things this time. Uh, so I guess I've committed myself to, you know I was uncommitted the other two times I got out, obviously. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, and then since then you've been sober and now you're back, you're getting back in business, yeah?
yeah, so I mean, yeah, to fill some time, I started Sober.buzz, which is, a podcast and social media about mental health and sobriety and recovery, which now has like 90,000 followers across all the platforms. But that's more of a hobby. I started consulting for a solar panel manufacturer out of India and Boston Consulting Group back in August, and enjoyed that. So yeah, a few weeks ago I started, putting out feelers to you know companies, and talking to headhunters about getting back into development, or building up a renewable energy development platform like I did before. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what's your goal for next 12 months?
Next 12 months, well, I would say find the right fit, whatever that is, to get back to work. Continue to work on my relationship with my kids. And, it's it's good, but it always can improve. That's one of the things with my therapist. We're going to start diving into you know uh, having them involved in some sessions and things like that, which we've done before, but this time, I uh, I uh, I understand how to listen better. I guess is the best way to put it, right?
Yes. So, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, learn more about you, connect to you, how
Yeah.
they can do that?
Yeah, so my email is jc@joshcase.com. Josh Case on LinkedIn, easy to find. If you're interested in like the Sober.buzz stuff, website Sober.buzz. Uh, Podcasts are on at Sober.buzz podcast on YouTube, and then Instagram. There's a lot of content at Sober.buzz token. So
Great. Yeah. Okay. And then just, before we go, any final thoughts, anything you would like to share with the audience? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I was never happy in my addiction, and I wouldn't trade my best day in it for my worst day now. I never thought I could be sober, so I would say never give up hope. And I'm a big, like I said before, I'm a big mental health advocate, and learning uh, things around mental health and dealing with past trauma, and dealing with the reasons I was using and drinking, is how I got sober. I mean, other people get sober other ways. That's how it worked for me. So I would say, if you want to be sober, don't give up.
Thanks a lot, Josh. Thank you all for watching and listening. If you have any questions for Josh or me, you can ask them in the comments. And also in the description of this video, I'll share those couple of links that Josh mentioned. So if you like this episode, drop us a like, subscribe, and also see you all in the next episode. All the best and bye bye.
Thanks, Tony.